I was walking uphill, which I do often, and the senior citizen pointed out to me, "Hey, you're always going uphill," or "You are that one guy that always goes uphill. Why do you run uphill? Why do you always climb that mountain?" So in my neighborhood where I live, there's a beautiful trail that spans about a mile. You could lap that, 5 miles, 5 laps. Really nice walk. And there are certain sections of that trail that are inclines, you know? And so there are days where I sprint. I do about 3, 5 sets. I sprint and then I walk downhill. And he observes. He's about 78, and the guy is about 6'2". He gets his walks in, which I admire. And then one day he stopped me, which is recently, and said that his life is short. I said, not really, compared to what I see in society today: complacency and being lazy and not getting your steps in, nutrition, lack of sleep, just the daily habits, right? Simplicity of life, the basic mannerisms of taking care of yourself, self-care, health. I gave him feedback that it's not too late, that you are indeed at the place where you want to be, because at a high level, yes, I get it. 78 is up there, but it also comes down to how you take care of yourself starting in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and so forth, right? It has a compounding effect that pays you dividends later, a lot later down the road. And he's doing it. So I asked him, what do you eat? He's on the carnivore diet, so he eats nothing but meat. And he just went off and told me about the benefits that he's experienced in the carnivore diet. And instead of cutting him off and inserting my own self and telling him the similarities in my story, I just let him talk, because I saw in him a spark of what he could have been like when he was a little younger. Then he told me that at 75, his life just sort of went downhill and he aged really fast. Didn't really give me the reasons why, but he just felt his body slowing down, and just overnight, the next few days and months to follow, he just aged really fast. And then he showed me his picture, and I'm like, that can't be. And so that's life, folks. That's what happened. Then I later on found out that his son had passed, overdosed on fentanyl. 6'2", 6'3", good-looking man. That's what he shared with me, and it's really sad. And there's another guy another son of his that he doesn't have a relationship with. So I say all that to say this is that as you walk and as you fast, you start to realize that your thoughts really normalize and balance out, meaning that your thoughts really are thoughts. That's it. And some of this is stemmed in, yourself, how you talk to yourself and what you tell yourself, what you feed yourself. Why do I run uphill? Yes, I am that guy that runs uphill, but isn't that what life is about, right? Running uphill, facing challenges uphill, right? I'm not saying solutions are coming downhill, but it definitely feels better to walk the easy path, right? Which is a decline, which can be challenging in itself, if you think about it. If you're gassed out and you're coming downhill, that also takes a level of control. Your brakes, right? Use your core, your legs, your quads. So I always chose the most difficult things to do first, the most challenging exercises. And for me, not only walking is therapeutic, but running uphill, walking uphill, getting your heart rate up. That's the beauty. That's where the magic happens, really. It's a mixture, it's a middle ground of cardiovascular benefits, incline, and really you're challenging your mind. You see the end of the hill, right? Like so far away. But that's an illusion, because once you get there, you look back and you realize how far you've actually come. And now you take that and apply it to your real life, right? Your daily goals, your daily struggles, whatever that may be. And for most people, it's nutrition. Your habit with food, your relationships with food. What food choices are you making? How much are you eating? Or how little are you eating? Are you in a calorie deficit? Are you making a conscious effort to walk? Are you making a conscious effort to get your 10,000 steps in? Are you drinking a gallon of water, which is about 16 cups? That's nothing, because I'm always sipping water. I have a mug and I'm sipping water throughout the day. I'm well over a gallon. And considering the amount of work, if you're putting in that work, you're going to need to stay hydrated. It's good for your skin. It keeps you regular in the bathroom. And surprise, surprise, it prevents you from overeating. So yes, I am the guy that runs uphill. I am the guy that chooses a little bit more of the difficult path, because I'd rather get that out of the way sooner than later. It also changes your mindset on how you approach your problems. Yes, it does. It has a direct correlation if you do the hardest things first thing in the day or later on in the night. Sometimes I find that these late evening walks are just as therapeutic, because right after you get to sort of detox and get ready for bed. And as your heart rate comes down, nature, what you absorb, the sunlight, the vitamins, right, they come into play. And I sleep a good night's sleep, a good rest. You have to have a nightly routine. You have to have a morning routine. You know, this morning when I woke up, I felt like crap. I felt like ish. I feel great 1 mile into my walk. Picking up the camera, inserting my phone, trying to balance it on this gimbal was a challenge. Mentally. It's easy to do. Mentally, I just had a hard time showing up. These last 3 weeks have been a little difficult for me, because I've battled my anxiety. I've battled a little bit of a depression spell. It's been about 2 months, a little over 2 months since I left my corporate world behind me. I called it quits. I had enough. And it's a very toxic environment, and I cannot see myself going back. Although I am open to strategic opportunities where there's a little bit of, not too much stress, where there's not fancy titles, but you just do enough to get a decent paycheck and go about your day. So, but that's neither here nor there. But that's a life-changing event if you think about it, right? So as strong as I am, as mentally adept as I am, we are all human. You know, sometimes our thoughts do get the best of us, and you start wondering, maybe, am I really good enough? Do I belong somewhere? Do I belong in the corporate world? Do I belong in the everyday world? And these are normal. These are normal thoughts. In fact, if you're not having these thoughts, that means you're not challenging yourself to do better, to be better, and to inspire others. You get the point. You know, they say showing up is half the battle, right? So if you're going to show up, why not just set the stage and do the hardest things first thing in the morning? I say first thing in the morning, if you're able to, right? Depending on your schedule. Or when the sun sets in the afternoon, hit up the trail, a late evening walk. So the next time you see someone walking uphill, give them a shout out, because you're inspiring someone, right? I've inspired my neighbors. I've inspired my dentist. He took my blood pressure the other day for a procedure, dental work. Blown away why my blood pressure was just at ease, at such a good level, that he started asking me about my daily habits. And now every time I go in, he's trying to get tips. So you just never know, you being just you and your habits, how it can touch the next person and so forth. And that's the beauty of life. Like, you may cut yourself so short. You may shortchange yourself by negative self-talk. But you Doing this is one of the hardest things. It's easy, but psychologically, it's one of the hardest things. You know, to get to that trail where I was a second ago, that's about a mile and a mile half walk, but I love shooting over there. I love the vibes over there. It's just something about the whole atmosphere. And I start my recording there almost every video. But to get to that point is my reward, basically. That's when the cameras go on. That's when I get in a really good mood. So I don't know who you are, but if this video found you, it's a great thing. That means you're searching for answers just like I am. And maybe you are the next person going uphill. Maybe you are already going uphill. Maybe you're fighting a battle going uphill. Maybe it's an uphill battle anyway. So what choice do we have, right? Then to go through it, climb it, go up it, inspire, and as challenging as that may be, you still finish the task. You still get your steps in. That's the big deal. You still get your steps in. I'm going to end this one here. Hopefully you found value in this. Appreciate you all, and keep up the good fight and keep walking. Mamba out.